Here we go.
It's the Andrew Christopher Show
With Mr. Ted Kim, dear father.
It's pretty official,
Right?
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I have fun doing it. So.
Yeah, we really call it the AC Show. Really call it the AC Show.
In my head, I think everyone must be getting sick of this song already. So I'm trying to come up with...
Really? I was going to say, man, I should cover this.
I guess it's for me. I've heard it a lot more probably. But welcome to the AC Show, Ted.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad
Thanks
you
for
could
having
come
me.
in. And you didn't get lost? You found it fine?
No. Yeah, found it fine.
And I didn't ask. It's good. Ted,
What's
do you
that?
need me to call you dear father the whole time? Or this
No,
is
you can
kind
just
of
call me Ted.
the alias, would you call it? Or would
Yeah.
you call it a band name? Not really, right?
So
'Cause
when I
it's-
came up with it, I didn't actually intend to to go kind of as far as I did. Kind of more, it was just like, I had growing up, I always had problems with my dad and stuff. And he wasn't much in my life. And so it kind of started out just like an open letter. And then, eventually I think I tried to change my name at one point, and when I started to get a little bit more serious, and then everybody, I had a couple of friends of mine just feel like it doesn't really fit as well. It doesn't suit you. I can't remember what that was, probably 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
That's crazy. Getting pretty deep right away.
Yeah.
It's funny because I put it in my calendar as Dear Father Podcast.
Yeah.
And on some of the other podcasts, I had talked about, if I get to this certain amount or whatever, then I will open up about my daddy issues.
Yeah.
Not to make light of any kind of issues like that.
Yeah.
But so my wife saw that Dear Father in my podcast schedule, and she thought this was the episode that I was going to talk about my dad. And I was like, no, it's this incredible touring artist,
Yeah.
Dear Father, who's coming in. So maybe we'll talk a bit more about that later.
Yeah.
And how that, about the name and such, and obviously your whole musical journey we're going to get into.
Yeah.
But I wanted to talk a bit because you're heading out on tour.
Yeah.
Well, this will come out on Sunday, so you're already going to be on tour.
Yeah.
Where are you going to be, or when do you leave?
Sunday, I'm still going to be in the Fraser Valley area here.
Yeah.
Saturday, I play. So I start it tomorrow, which is Wednesday in Nanaimo. Then Friday, we play Old Abbey Ales in Abbotsford.
Cool.
And then Saturday, Café du Soleil in Vancouver. Sunday, we've got off. And then I think the next show after that is Nelson. We actually, oddly enough, we had a show in Kelowna, but the place just closed down. Like,
oh no,
literally they let Kellen know I think yesterday. They're like, we had to close our doors, so you won't be able to play here.
Oh, that's rough.
Which
that
is,
sucks.
I mean, it's good that they at least let us know ahead of time. We didn't just show up there and the place is all boarded up.
Yeah. That's too bad. But it sounds like, how many dates do you have on this tour heading across to Toronto, right?
Without that one, I think I want to say 17 or 18.
17, 18. Yeah, somewhere around there. That's what I thought I saw.
Yeah.
That's going to be awesome. And so Ted started in Toronto.
Yeah.
And you just took the train. Is it CN Rail?
Via Rail hired
Via
me
Rail.
to play on the famous Canadian, which is pretty cool.
The famous Canadian.
Yeah, it's on the $10 bill. I found out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The actual train?
Yeah, that actual train is on the $10 bill. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so you were doing, I think you said you did 3 sets a day.
Yeah,
for
3
45
sets
minutes.
a day for 45 minutes, and then 2 sets at 2 train stations. So I played in Winnipeg for 20 minutes and in Jasper for 20 minutes. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And so then they take care of your tickets and your food.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
your
They
room.
hook you up with a private room, and then all the meals are included, and the food was just awesome. Yeah. It was just like prime rib and
I bet.
And they even had vegan options too, like whole vegan meals, which was pretty cool. So which
cool.
you don't, I did not expect that, because it's like the demographic is like 65 plus, and they're like, what's vegan? That's stupid.
I guess maybe it's not as interesting as I think, but it's weird. that airplane food is so terrible, but then
I know.
train, like locomotive food, is
Yeah.
like off the charts. Good.
Yeah, I know. Well, I think it's because you're there
probably
for
easier
4 days,
to-
and
yeah.
and it's so much more expensive to travel by train. Like if you want a private room from Toronto to Vancouver, it's like $3,000.
Really?
Yeah, and I don't think I think it's probably even cheaper to fly business class
Yeah.
from
Yeah, I would think so.
Toronto to Vancouver.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But so that's what got you here. And I
Yeah.
mean, but you grew up around here, right?
yeah,
In-
yeah. I
in
mean, I
Chilliwack?
lived in Chilliwack for like
Yeah.
15 years, and then Langley for like another 4 or 5.
Yeah. But so then you've come out here to meet up with Kellen, who you're
Yep.
doing the tour with.
Yeah.
Kellen is another artist from around Chilliwack, Abbotsford.
He lives in Chilliwack. Yeah.
In Chilliwack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know he just sold his house, but I don't know where he's buying, but
And did you guys just meet through the kind of music circle, or have you
yeah.
always known each other?
Kellen, I think I met. He was doing the open mics at Old Yale.
Yes.
Which he
Just recently.
Yeah,
just
he
for the past
stopped.
year or so.
Yeah, and I met him there.
Okay.
And then somehow we just got talking. I think at the end of last year, and we're like, "Hey, we should do a tour next summer. Like, would you be up for that?" And I think he actually brought it up first. Like he was like, "We should do a tour," and then I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then it just
Yeah.
it just kind of fell into place. Yeah.
Did you both kind of take care of the bookings?
Yeah, so he
with
did-
different contacts you had, and
He did the book. Actually, a lot of the bookings that we like, a lot of our contacts were pretty similar. Like,
Yeah.
we play at the Nanaimo Bar tomorrow, and we both know Sonia from the Nanaimo Bar pretty well. And then, yeah, Cafe du Soleil I've played at a couple times, and yeah. But he took care of all the bookings in this area in BC, and then
Yeah.
I kind of did all the other ones in for the rest of Canada.
yeah.
Yeah.
And because you've been out kind of towards Toronto a couple times over the last few years.
No, I moved there in January.
In January?
And then that was like the first time that I spent any like
And you-
decent amount of time in Toronto.
Did you have friends and family out there, or
Nope,
you just kind of picked
I
up?
actually picked Toronto because I didn't know anybody,
Yeah.
and because
I thought that's what it was. That's
yeah,
really
yeah,
cool.
because I get really distracted pretty easily by like friends and family, and I'm like, sending off like 50 emails tonight sounds fun, but like I'd rather go have a beer with somebody. Like,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
feel like I get lazy really quickly. So I was like, I'm just gonna go to Toronto. I'm gonna go to like an open mic night every night of the week, meet a bunch of people, and I did, and like,
Yeah,
it
that's
was
awesome.
pretty crazy. When I moved there, I didn't think that I'd be playing a show for like 5 months, and within 10 days, I played my first show.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so it's a pretty good music scene out there.
it is.
Like
It's kind of like
comparable to Vancouver.
it's there. It's better and worse.
Yeah.
It's better in the fact that there is there is a lot more music venues there. The city's a lot bigger, a lot more people. So the potential for you to, for people to hear you is good. Percentage wise, I don't think it's as good because it's so saturated there. Like
Right.
everybody's a musician or an artist in Toronto.
Yeah.
And so it's, I feel like it's really tough to, kind of go above the noise. But
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I really commend you for just jumping out there, getting
Yeah.
out there.
I was pretty depressed
some people.
here last year, and I
Yeah.
just felt like I didn't fit in, and then, and so I was like, I'm just gonna, why not?
Yeah. Might as well, man.
Yeah.
And it worked out well. You're doing these. I saw it on your Instagram all the time, doing all these open mics, meeting all
Yeah.
these people, and then you did a few shows. So you kind of got set up with a few contacts out there to
Yeah.
finish off the tour. And
Yeah.
where is there a spot along the way you're most looking forward to playing?
Not really. No, I just honestly, I'm pretty nervous about this tour because it's like
It's just you guys?
It's just me and Kellen, and
Yeah.
then I don't know, like, who knows what else could go wrong.
Yeah.
But I mean,
What's
I don't know.
the vehicle?
Oh, his caravan. Yeah, we're taking
It's a Dodge Caravan.
Yeah, the mommy mobile.
Yeah. No, it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's what you need.
Yeah.
What year is it? Do you know?
Oh, his is pretty new. Yeah.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So hopefully mechanically you'll be okay.
Yeah.
In the
I mean,
because that's
if
just
not,
the cliche, right? The van that's going across Canada breaks down.
Yeah.
And
No, I think we'll be fine. I mean, I've worked in the auto industry for a long time,
Yeah.
even as an apprentice for a little bit. So
you got it covered then.
Sure.
What problems do you foresee, or what are you most worried about? Is it venues being dicks?
No.
Is it
honestly, I don't know.
It's a stressful thing.
I think I'm just getting in my head, and
Yeah.
I've never played this many shows like this far away from home before, so I'm just I don't know.
It'll be interesting to see
Yeah.
what kind of crowds you can gather. Do you have many local support acts joining you?
No, so it's me and him the whole way.
Yeah.
The nice thing is when we booked pretty much. I think we have a guarantee for pretty much every single show.
Yeah.
I know the only one that I didn't get was Montreal, and that was
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's nice to have in terms of social media and stuff, it's a bit easier these days to promote yourself in a place that you've never really.
It is, and it's not, because there's still,
played,
there's still so many artists in that area, and so to kind of go above that media noise and to stand out, because there's probably, even in town like Calgary, which is not the biggest city in Canada, but there's still probably several other concerts happening that night, or several other events, and but what we booked mainly breweries, because breweries just seem to be totally backwards on their thinking from how regular music venues are.
Yeah.
It's like I've never played
Hopefully they don't catch on.
Yeah. No, but I mean, like regular venues, it's always been like, oh, how many people can you bring out?
Yeah,
and then
exactly.
And then they'll be like, okay, well maybe we can set up a show with you, but you have to bring out like so many people,
and we'll only give you this percentage of.
Yeah, exactly. Or
make,
whereas breweries are like, well, there's another festival happening in town that weekend because it is summer, but you know what? Let's do it. We can pay you X amount, and then we'll pay you X amount above all the sales. So, like 12.5% above $950.
Right.
We'll pay you, and then, and we'll give you a free flat of beer or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's,
just to get you to the next city.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like it's a lot more helpful when you already know.
I think, I think if you guys got those kind of guarantees, then that's good on you. It's a good place to start for sure.
Yeah. Because
So
I think I'd be freaking out if
you're at least
we didn't have any guarantees.
At least have gas money and food to keep you going.
Yeah.
So you've obviously, this would be your first tour across Canada?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
And
it's not even across the whole way.
No, I guess right. Yeah, sorry.
Which is crazy.
In my head, it's Vancouver to Toronto. Yeah, you're going across Canada.
Yeah.
But then you said you're booking more.
I'm
Eastern
booking
Canada.
an Eastern Canada tour right now, from Toronto to Halifax, and that will be,
So when is this tour taking you to?
Till last show is in Toronto, August 31st.
August 31st.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're moving at a pretty decent pace.
Yeah.
And then when are you thinking of the Eastern Canada one? Are you going to stay in Toronto?
Toronto. Yeah, I'll be in Toronto for September, and then, probably, well, like September 30th or 29th, I'll probably start my Eastern Canada tour.
Yeah.
And what I'll be doing is I'll be going from Toronto to Montreal, so I'll hit up probably all the towns along the way, so like Peterborough and Kingston and so on, and then I find out within a couple of weeks whether Via Rail rehired me.
Okay.
So then I'll be playing on the train for, I think it's 2 days from Montreal to Halifax, and then from Halifax I'll probably go back to Fredericton, and then back to Halifax and fly out. So,
right on.
Yeah.
And Kellen's just driving the van back solo?
Yeah, he's coming with me to Thunder Bay.
Okay.
And And then he's going to drive back because from Thunder Bay to Toronto it's a 14-hour drive.
Yeah.
So it's like still a crazy long distance. And he was like, I don't know if I can do that and then drive back all the way.
Yeah.
So, so he's
man, it's a big fucking country, eh?
It is. Yeah. Like, I drove from Toronto to Thunder Bay in March for Said the Whale.
Yeah.
Like I did that in one day, and the 14-hour drive was just terrible.
Yeah. When I was a kid, like 9 years old or something, we drove across to Ottawa.
Yeah.
Just as a family kind of vacation thing.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I don't have too many memories of it, but I know it was freaking long.
Yeah.
And,
oh yeah.
So why don't we play one of these tunes right now,
Sure,
so some
yeah.
of the people listening can get a feel for what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think you said we're going to start with a song called Okay.
Sure. Yeah. That's
Right?
my latest single.
Cool.
So,
Okay, we'll play that, and then you can say a bit about it after
Cool.
here.
There is a cold chill in the air. The morning dew has just begun to settle in. To settle in. There is a symphony to hear. It's in the air between the trees. The sun's come out. The sun's come out. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay. The trees are swaying back and forth. They're dancing with each other side by side. They're all alive. They're all alive. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay. I'm with you. Oh, oh. I'm with you. Oh, oh. And I'm with you. Oh, oh. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. Your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Thanks, man.
So did you record all that stuff yourself, like all the instruments?
Like, did I play all the instruments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought so. Because when we first met, you were drumming.
Yeah.
And then I saw you start doing some of the singer-songwriter stuff. And then with our buddy Ransford, Movi, you were playing bass for him, right? Yeah, totally. So you did all the instruments yourself.
Yeah.
And where did you record it? At your own studio? Or?
No. Well, I shouldn't say I recorded all the instruments for all the songs, because for that one I did. But the next song, Life, that we're gonna hear, Colin did bass for me.
Okay.
And then I had my friend Albert play some keys.
Okay, cool.
And then I had a guest vocal on that song as well. But
nice.
But yeah, I mean, for the most part, actually, one of my earliest dreams wasn't even just to really be a musician. It was just to like create something where it was like everything was it was just all me. So
yeah.
Because what's his name? Trent Reznor from Nine Inch Nails. He grew up and he just like made his own records and like he played everything on it, and I just thought that was the coolest thing. So
totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
And studio wise, where did you do it?
Oh yeah. So that I actually I did that one at Nimbus.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then the other pretty much all the other songs that I've done were all through my friend Quinn. Do you know Quinn Patterson?
I'm not sure if I've met him or not.
He's got a studio in Chilliwack,
Okay, nice.
but I think he's moved now.
Yeah.
But it's company's called Bear Creek Multimedia, and
Cool.
Quinn and I go back like pretty far as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. I like that tune. And it's a bit more uplifting than some of the other stuff when I was running through the
I know
100
most of my
album.
stuff is pretty melancholic.
Which there's a place for it, man, and it strikes emotion in people who listen to it. But that one was really beautiful, uplifting. So when did you write that one, and what was going on?
Oh, that one
that brought that song about.
I'm gonna take you to a dark place now.
Yeah, well, let's do it. Man.
Yeah. So that one I wrote probably 2 years ago, and I there's a friend of mine that was dealing with suicide. Like she wanted to commit suicide, and then she ended up living at my place for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, well, this is kind of like I was trying to, I don't know, I was just in a mood for writing a song, and then I was like, well, what makes me feel better when I get upset? And I love nature, right? So like so trees always make, like if I'm feeling down, I'll just go for a walk, and like trees always make me feel better. And then so I kind of wrote that about like, just find one thing that makes you calm down or whatever, and then just focus on that. And so
yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
I've been starting to notice a lot more in nature in myself.
Yeah.
Getting out into nature is so peaceful and beautiful. And the one thing that always does it for me, and it was weird, I posted on my Instagram last night, but I was really getting into cranes or something.
Oh,
but
yeah,
it's just something about the cranes being like way up in the sky. And I think it's more so looking at like the sky behind them.
Yeah.
That it's like everything, so the crane looks so perfect because there's nothing else behind it. There's no buildings or whatever. It's just the crane and then the sky, whether it's clouds or blue sky or whatever. But I don't know. I just kept looking up. I'm like, man, this looks so fucking cool right now.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. But same with trees, right? You just see the trees against the sky, and it's like nothing else is interfering or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Just makes you feel like nothing else matters for a couple of moments. And
yeah.
That's
really cool. Yeah. And trying to find different like little rivers and creeks running around lately. Trying to find I'm trying to get more into hiking, which a lot of my buddies are into it, and I was always just going to the gym lifting weights. Yeah. And now I'm getting too old and my body always hurts when I lift weights. So I'm like, maybe I'll get into hiking again. That'd be nice. But are you a big hiker at all?
I love hiking. Yeah. I was back 3 weeks ago, and I think there was not a single day I didn't hike. Pretty much. Yeah.
It's good, man. It's got to be one of the best workouts there is. Like, well, and you can push yourself as hard as you want, right? Yeah. You can take it easy, or you can really work up a sweat and get up there. But so in terms of kind of your musical journey, where did you begin on drums? Was it high school? Was it elementary school, or did you take piano lessons or anything?
Middle school, I played trumpet, and then I quit in high school, and just because Did you go to Chilliwack Middle?
No, I grew up in Agassiz.
Okay. Yeah. So in Chilliwack Middle, there was this awesome music teacher, Mr. Gagnon, and he had like a marching band and stuff. We So it was mandatory to be in a marching band, but that's kind of where I fell in love with music a little bit. And we did crazy stuff. Like we played for Grey Cup. We opened up we did like the pre-halftime show and opened up for the Black Eyed Peas, which is pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Sick.
And just all these awesome experiences. And then I got to high school and it was just like just regular band. You just play for just like the school concerts and that's it. And that wasn't really enough for me. So then I quit, and then Rock Band came around, and I got really good at drums on Rock Band. And then Colin was like, you know Colin. Yeah. He was like, man, I really want to start playing music. And then he was like, I think I'm going to start playing guitar. He started off guitar at first, and then my friend was like, oh, I'll play bass. And then I was like, well, I'm good at Rock Band drums, so I'll go get some drums. And then and then we started playing music, and then eventually that little project ended, but then we started 931, and that's when we started playing with you guys. And I think we actually we played on Facebook. It said the other day that I think that our first actual show we played 9 years ago the other day. So, and then, then I think the first time that I would have played with you guys, is probably 9 years ago in a week from today or.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. It has been a while. We met back then, but, are those guys from 931 doing much right now, music wise?
Colin plays in a band called Like Bears.
Oh yeah,
which
I've definitely heard the name. I didn't know that was him though. That's cool.
I played drums in that band for a long time as well.
Right.
Mitch is currently filling in. Mitch for Foster.
Okay.
And then so he plays for Like Bears, and then but that's pretty much it. Yeah. He doesn't really do much with music.
Yeah. That's cool though. And so then from there, because that was out of high school, you were playing.
Yeah,
drums
that was
with
out of
these
high
guys.
school. Yeah.
And then how did you, or what brought about the transition to guitar playing and singing?
I started learning guitar because I wanted to play music at all hours a day, and that's pretty tough to do at like midnight as a drummer. Even with like an electronic kit, they're still super loud.
Yeah. Well, if it's like next door, you could hear them. Because it's like this, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You hear them tapping on something.
Exactly. Like, yeah. And that's almost more annoying, I feel, than
real
actual
acoustic drums.
Acoustic drums. Yeah. And so I don't know. So then I just started. I borrowed a guitar from Colin, and then I was like, you know what, I really want to do this. And so then I didn't buy just a $200 guitar. I was like, no, I have to force myself. Because I feel like if I just buy like $100 or $200 like starter guitar, then I'll play for like 2 weeks and I'll give up. So I spent like $1,000 on my first guitar. And,
good for you. And
I was like, but you know what? In hindsight, that was the right move, because then like when I really got into it, I didn't need to upgrade at all.
Right.
You know, like it's a guitar I'll have on probably until I die. So and then I just started writing music and kind of skipped 6 years ahead, and here we are.
Yeah. It's not funny, but very similar to, because Dylan, who plays drums who was drumming in Pardon My Striptease, and plays drums with me all the time, because he's kind of started to make the transition and releasing some of his own music as well.
His stuff is awesome.
Singing. Yeah, he does a really good job. I know he's put a lot of work into it. For him, he said he wanted to have a bit more control over the music that he really wanted to hear. And as a drummer, he couldn't really verbalize what he was thinking or feeling for what he wanted a song to sound like. And so that was a big thing for him to start learning an instrument, or any instrument. So he was learning piano and guitar so that he could be a bit more involved in the songwriting process. And then from there, he was like, well, I kind of just want to do my songs and make them sound how he wants. So was some of that with you as well, kind of like wanting to have a bit more control over music, or did the songwriting come later?
Well, no, I think for me, I just kind of started off, and I was just like, I'm just gonna do it for myself, and write music for myself, and then I was like, well, I think I want to play these live. And then
was that tough? Was that pretty nerve-wracking? Like
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I like being a drummer and only playing like shows where you're the drummer. It's a totally different experience than when you have to sing. And like because the drummer kind of just hides behind everybody, and it's you don't. You're not like as close to people.
Yeah.
You're just kind of hiding in the corner, and
Yeah.
so it was definitely it's totally different playing drums, and even now actually it's just. I feel almost more at ease when I play drums just because it's like, I'm like, they're not looking at me.
Not my problem.
Yeah.
Good luck up there, bud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you got to play the songs, but you don't have to entertain people as much. Like, whereas like, I feel like if you are singing or, you got to say something in between songs every now and then. And so just playing drums, I don't even have a microphone. So all I have to do is, whenever somebody says a funny.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So how have you found the crowd interactions? Is that something that's still progressing? You're pretty comfortable now?
It is still progressing. I'm pretty comfortable now.
Yeah.
That's something that probably took me the longest was to talk to people. And I started by just making dumb dad jokes every now and then, like while I'm tuning, and then
you can't do that.
And
you're not a dad.
I know.
Only I can do dad jokes.
Yeah. The amount of people that ask me like whether I have kids.
Really?
I do.
Because of the
puns.
jokes?
Yeah, puns are just like, do you have kids? No. But yeah. So I think that was a very good icebreaker for me into to starting to talk to people. Is just and then now this is whatever. I don't even think twice about saying stuff now.
No.
Which is
that's usually
probably
best,
not
man.
a good.
Well, like some of my favorite, I'm a huge Dave Matthews fan.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff he says on the mic, it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
And people eat it up. They go crazy. They're like, yeah, you're the best. When he's just talking about whatever, like a sandwich or something.
Yeah. I think the key is just confidence. Just be confident about it. You can say whatever.
And I'm sure it does have some meaning to him,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of the times he doesn't get that meaning across very well, but people still, I think, appreciate it. And it's just honest.
I mean, he's a pretty legendary musician. So.
Yeah. what he's feeling and thinking. And as long as you just put out, you don't have to explain everything to people. I don't think you just kind of say what you're thinking and feeling. And sometimes that's best.
That's kind of part of the whole songwriting thing.
Yeah. And being an artist, it's, you don't necessarily have to make everyone connect with your music. It's up to them to make that connection if they really like it yeah.
I think that you just got to do it for yourself first, and then for everybody else second.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So as I said, Dave Matthews is one of my favorites. Now he's influencing a lot of my music that I write. It wasn't always the case, but for you who were growing up, some of your influences, and then now that you're writing music, who are you really into?
Growing up, like way back when, I grew up with like ABBA and John Denver and Simon and Garfunkel. Like those are some of the artists that were always in my parents' car. Like they had and then and then I moved to Canada. And
where did you grow up?
Oh, in Germany. Yeah, I lived in Germany till I was 9.
Really?
So yeah,
crazy.
And then and then we moved to Canada, and then music kind of died down for like the first year that I was here, and then Green Day released American Idiot, and
nice.
I think that was the first album that I ever went and bought.
I bought that album as well.
Yeah,
when people used to buy albums.
Still such a good album.
It is. Yeah.
And and then them and like all the regulars like Green Day, Linkin Park, Sum 41.
Yeah.
But now it's crazy. When I first started writing, I was really heavily influenced by City and Colour.
Yeah. Okay.
And then because I was a super fan back then.
Yeah, I love their stuff too.
It's but
awesome.
Now I listen to almost everything now because. Like on my way here, I was listening to, what's his name? He wrote Hallelujah.
Leonard Cohen.
Yes, Leonard Cohen. And then I've been listening to Neil Young a lot lately. The Tragically Hip I got into just recently. yeah, and then just like a lot more hardcore music, like Sleeping with Sirens and Circa Survive and so on, just bands that nobody really seems to know.
Can't say I've heard of it,
but yeah, I don't know. I kind of listen to nowadays. I just listen to pretty much everything, and I try to actually. I do try to, like, once a week I'll put on like an album of somebody that I know, like yourself or
cool local artists.
Like local artists and try to like pick that apart a little bit.
Nice. And I think it's a big respect thing too. If when you're engaged with people on social media or whatever, to really take the time to appreciate what they do, like your stuff. Like I said, I was running through the 100 Years album, trying to really feel what you were going through and everything, and seeing how you put that together. I think it's cool if you can do that for local artists. Not even that it's gonna make them money or whatever, but just out of the respect to listen to what they're trying to say, right?
I think the bigger thing for me is I think it helps with writing, writer's block, because I'm like, oh my god, that's a totally different, like, I definitely would have never thought. And I feel like the local artists, it's like, it's not as produced, it's a lot more raw, so it's easier to pick up on writing styles where I feel like when something's overly produced, it's so polished that you're just like,
you know exactly where it's going. What the song's going to do.
Exactly.
Well, that's cool. I know the City and Color one that I really love. I had an experience driving home or whatever when I was pretty fucking depressed and pulled over in the side of the road and started crying when I heard this tune. It's called Hello, I'm in Delaware.
Oh yeah.
You know that one?
Yeah.
It's so fucking beautiful.
Yeah.
And this was at the time when I was going through all this stuff with my daughter or whatever.
Yeah.
And it just fucking broke down. And it's those moments that really get you connected to an artist, and then you're like, cool, love this guy. Like when you have that connection or whatever. So some of those songs that do have that kind of melancholy vibe, like they're some of the most powerful tunes out there, I think.
Yeah. Even like Hallelujah, which is like a crazy, it's like super famous song, and that's a sad song. I don't know if you've ever really deciphered the lyrics, but it's like... Yeah,
people seem to... Like, they use it at weddings all the time.
Like, I know.
They asked me to play it, and I'm
that
like,
song is about breaking up, I think.
Yeah.
Like, it's like about a breakup.
Yeah, it's tough. It was always said that, it's... People take so much away from it in different contexts, and even in, like, religious contexts or whatever, but it's... it's really an anomaly, I think, of what it's really about, and there's so many... Because there's, like, 8 or 9 or 12 different verses to it. In the actual, like,
it's
poem
got
or something, eh?
Well, I had to play it on the VIA reel, and I had to somebody requested it, and I was like, oh my god, I totally forgot that Leonard Cohen's Canadian. And so I like learned it on the train really quickly, but I think it's got 5 verses, but then plays the chorus over like 6 times. It's pretty crazy. That's
a classic for sure. So let's play this other tune here.
Yeah.
Anything you want to cue up about Life before we do it? Or?
One of my favorite things about that lately has been the first lyrics are 5 years ago, and I recently, I think it was the 5-year anniversary of it, which is pretty cool. So it finally makes sense. For this year, it's gonna make sense.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Life by Dear Father.
get too much inside. But I will never let you know. But that's not how life is. It's gonna come anyway. But that's not who I am. So I should go away from here. Away from here. Away from here. No. But that's not who I am. So I should go away from here. Away from here. Away from here. No. Oh no. Away from here.
Right on, man.
Cool.
Who's the guest vocalist on that one?
That's Jackson.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Jackson
I
Matthew.
think that's Jackson.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool. That's
Yeah.
a neat way of doing it. To have him come in the second verse there or whatever. That was,
Yeah. I wanted a little bit more dynamic, and I did that with a couple songs actually. I did. The song "Cold" has Lakeisha Hewitt on it.
Okay.
You know who that is?
I'm not sure.
She's another singer-songwriter from Chilliwack, and then I had Michael Alekna on "Made of Steel."
Cool.
Yeah.
Our Lady Peace has a song named "Made of Steel,"
Yeah, I know.
and I big Our Lady Peace fan too.
Yeah.
Back in my teenage angst days.
Yeah.
They were part of my sad times as a kid, dealing with my daddy issues.
And they wrate such good songs too.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah. Actually, you know what's funny? On the when we were in the studio, I didn't name the song "Life" yet, and Quinn was like, "What's the name of the song?" I was like, "I don't know." And he's like, "Well, you got Made of Steel, so I'm making this one in repair." So, the Our Lady
right.
Peace song, yeah. So
But then they also have a song called "Life." So.
they do.
Yeah. Song names are tough to come up
Yeah.
with, man.
Well, yeah.
that have not been used.
Everybody's got a song named "Life."
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's good stuff, man. So I always ask people, say if I had a gun to your head and you had to name one song that is your favorite song ever, and you can't say, "Oh, I have two," otherwise, bam, you're
Of
dead.
my own?
No, sorry.
Or in general?
Like in general, in the history of music.
Probably "Waiting" by City and Color. That song got me through a lot of dark times. I even have it tattooed.
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
What does it say?
So "Say Goodbye to Love."
Okay.
It was actually, I was gonna make it the script I was gonna make different, but I decided that was way too dark.
Yeah.
Because the first lyrics of that song are "A coma might feel better than this." So,
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like,
I
for my
don't
first
know if,
tattoo, I think that's like way too dark.
a
So
bit dark. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard that one. I'll have to listen to it after we're done here.
Such a good song.
Is it a radio
yeah,
popular song?
It was. I think it was a single. Out of all his singles, it's probably like one of the least popular, but it's a super super good song.
Yeah. I'll have to
got
check
me
it
through
out.
a lot of stuff, and yeah.
Yeah. So what? Obviously, the tour is kind of the biggest plans from here, but recording wise,
I have another single that I just finished mastering. I haven't set a release date yet. I was gonna release it like in August, like first week of August, but then I wanted to do like a music video for it as well, and I was gonna shoot that right before I left, but I didn't have time.
ran out.
I had no time last couple of weeks before I left, so I'll probably shoot that when I get back in September, and then I'll probably release the song just before I leave on tour for Eastern Canada. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Look forward to hearing that for sure.
Yeah.
What's best social media wise? Instagram is
I
Dear
use
Father Official,
yeah
or-
at Dear Father Official. Yeah, that's honestly I post the most on Instagram.
Yeah.
Facebook is I don't know, like
Facebook sucks.
Facebook
I
hasn't been
still
that
use it all the time, but Yeah.
I feel like it just like it's so saturated with everything else. Like you're scrolling down the feed and like more than half of it is just advertisement now.
Yeah.
Seems like.
And it's tough the way their algorithm is set or whatever, and how they pick through whatever you're posting, and they don't show it to many people if it's anything to do with like
even Instagram now is not that great for that. But
there you go.
Yeah, I don't know, but I use Instagram the most. But then I had a website, but I'm rebuilding it. I think I'm gonna go with a different domain name. So I
gotcha. Is that a Dear Father hat?
No, no, it's
not. It almost looks like it. No. I was like, is that a D and a F? But
no, actually, oddly enough, I'm impressed I'm not wearing another band shirt. But normally it's like, how much band merch can I wear? Like, I'll wear like some T-shirt and then a hat from somebody. Yeah. And then like a sweater or something, or socks. Like. Yeah. No, this is this hat. I was playing drums for a hardcore band out of Vancouver called Destructive Interference for a couple years, and just had.
So
I really like these hats. So
it's a cool logo too.
Yeah.
So this tour is it gonna get a little crazy, or do you behave when you're out on the road there? Once in a while,
I think it'll be pretty tame.
Yeah. Kellen's quite a guy. I know, or at one point I know he was putting a few back here and there.
He puts a few back, but he just stays Kellen. I think that's just who he is.
Yeah.
He's,
because Kellen, for those of you just listening, is this big mountain of a man, tattoos everywhere. He
seriously is, yeah.
And piercings, tattoos, and nice big beard, right?
Yeah. He's got this is seriously like
300 pounds. And
I would not want to meet him in an alley.
I know. Well, because these freaking huge bear paw hands.
Yeah, he's massive.
And then you listen to him sing, and it's pretty it's super powerful stuff.
Oh yeah,
and,
it's very bluesy.
You can see where the voice comes from.
yeah. But I think that it's gonna be pretty relaxed. Just gonna
get stuff done, especially when you're driving that much. You don't want to be freaking hungover every morning, waking up and driving 10 hours.
No, I think I'm gonna try to not spend a single dime on alcohol.
Yeah. That works.
Yeah.
It usually works okay, because then sometimes you have a couple tab. You have a tab at the brewery or whatever.
We have some
buying you a drink or two.
Bar tabs at the brewery, so I think that for the most part, I think I'm gonna be pretty. It's not like I'm like I have to drink every night either. So it's like,
exactly.
So
I'm gonna have another local musician on who said because he was going through a pretty tough time with alcohol and drugs, and and he said he finally got sober and just played his first show sober.
Whoa.
And he said it was scary as hell for him.
It's very tough because it's like you get like I couldn't imagine if I was going completely sober, because you get tempted like everywhere. If somebody's like, hey, can I buy you a beer or something? And you're just like, and then you're ashamed to talk about, actually I'm sober. And I feel like a lot of people are ashamed of that, which I mean, like congrats to him, because that's
totally
super tough to do, especially as a musician.
Yeah. And I think it was just that, every show he was playing, he was, under the influence. And then now he had to go up on stage sober, and he said he was so nervous. It was like,
see, I barely drink and play, because I remember one time at District, I got just totally trashed and played at an open mic night, and I think that was probably the most embarrassing thing I've ever done.
Oh, that's good. Scared you straight, I guess.
Yeah, after that I was like, never again. That I just made a fool of myself.
Well, it's to each their own, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But I don't get it, how some of these rock stars or whatever can go out there hammered and
have you seen Dirt?
Everything and,
the movie Dirt about Motley Crue?
No, I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, it's super good. Apparently, it's not super accurate to what their actual life was like. Like there are quite a few differences, but it gives a pretty good picture of like they're just like doing rails at like 10 in the morning and then partying all day until their show, and then party after the show until like 5 in the morning, and then get a 5 hour sleep and do it all again, which I can't.
I don't know how their voice could handle it.
I just
like, maybe some of the other stuff, sure, but but actual singing, like your vocal cords, like just
No, I
gets
don't.
wrecked when
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they're rock stars.
They're
like-
legendary.
Yeah,
That's why.
yeah.
That's why we'll never make it.
Yeah.
So things are going well for you. Otherwise, in general,
Yeah. Things
you
are going.
seem pretty happy. Or
Things are
this-
going pretty good.
Yeah.
Like I don't think I've ever been this happy before because
Good.
work has always been like a really big part of my life and who I am. And before I moved out to Toronto, I was just like, my life was work, and so I worked at a Fountain Tire. Was the assistant manager there, and then I worked part time for the township of Langley doing like counseling and stuff, and for at-risk youth. And then on top of that, I was in like 3 bands while I was here, and it just like wore me down. And I don't know. At the end of last year, I think I realized how important just following your dreams are.
Yeah.
Because I feel like in our society, I actually had a chat with my mom about this 2 days ago.
Yeah.
How dreams are just not like, everybody's like, oh man, it's like a dream. Like dreams should be goals, not like this thing that's on like a pedestal.
Like, because dream sounds unachievable.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know, it's not, if you're like, oh, I want to be a billionaire and be on a beach somewhere, and that's what I want to do. I don't, it probably won't pan out quite like that. But if you're like, hey, I want to make like just my living off music, I don't want to be like a crazy rock star or anything like that. I want to play like, maybe a couple bigger shows a year, but then just if I made like $40,000 a year off music, I think I'd be pretty happy with that.
Yeah. And exactly. So that, I mean, if that's your dream, awesome.
Yeah.
But that should be a goal. Like it's a achievable, realistic goal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But even if you want to, if you wanted to be a billionaire, I'm pretty sure you could make it happen, but you just have to buckle down. And you probably wouldn't be on a beach somewhere. You'd probably just be working all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's got to be that fine line to. Yeah. It's tough thing. And it sucks that money has to be the kind of the big motivating factor for a lot of that stuff there. But if you can find something like music, like you said, so is that, so, you're trying to kind of turn this corner, make music into a full-time thing. And you're getting by right now, just doing music, doing these tours, or are you still working a bit here and there?
Like, in Toronto, I work part-time at a cafe, like 2 days a week. And then,
but nothing like
I work from home.
Assistant manager.
No, it's not like what I guess what some people would consider a career.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then I work from home part-time as well, doing, a business development for a label. So
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. That's
so
neat.
It's just like a lot of research and stuff.
Are you involved with any labels, or have you kind of thought about
I'm
starting your own, or you're just
independent? Yeah. And I think I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah.
Like I don't really need management. I think I'm pretty good on that aspect. I'm going to be looking for a publicist soon. For my next release, because I just want to make it a little bit bigger. So yeah, and then I have a booking agent in Toronto that books shows for me in and around the area there.
Great.
Yeah. Cats Cove Media.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, I'm stoked that you got to come by and chat and show off some of your music, and we're gonna cue it up and do a live song, the live version of OK.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming in, man.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll give that
thanks
to the
for
people,
having me,
and
man.
hopefully the tour goes well and the van makes it all the way.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it will. Like, it's a pretty new van, I think.
And I hope you get some good crowds too.
Yeah.
Hopefully you get to get your music out there as much as you can. It'll be nice. Okay, man. We'll do this song. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thanks.
a cold chill in the air. The morning dew has just begun to settle in, to settle in. There is a symphony to hear. It's in the air between the trees, and the sun's come out, and the sun's come out. And it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay. The trees are swaying back and forth. They're dancing with each other side by side. And they're all alive. And they're all alive. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay. I'm with you. No, no, I'm with you. No, no, I'm with you. No. And it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And your troubles and fears will go away. It's gonna be okay.
Awesome, my man.
Thank you.